From deep in the heart of Texas, it's On Second Thought, powered by Hook'em.com. Hosted since 2016 by your favorite sports columnists, Cedric Golden of the Austin American-Statesman and Kirk Bohls of the Houston Chronicle. Let's do it, fellas.
This is On Second Thought, and Cedric Golden is here on a big week of college tackle football, and I've got some old friends, operative old. Barry Tramel from the Tulsa world, Jenni Carlson from the Oklahoman is not old.
Well, I don't know about that.
Crotchety Kirk Bohls with a fresh haircut. Houston Chronicle, we used to do this all the time, but who would have thought in 2025 that we used to be a couple of dynamic duos, are now representing four separate newspapers, but the love of college football has not waned. What's up, guys?
Well, the transfer portal is works on a lot of different ways. That's what I'd say, Cedric.
Time marches on.
Oh my God. Yeah, somebody needs a lineman. I should have put my name in there. Somebody needs a lineman. Texas, Oklahoma, 2:30 p.m. The Cotton Bowl on Saturday. And these are two teams apparently heading in opposite directions. I'm just going to put it out there, Barry. You are famously known for picking the team that's not supposed to win the game to win the game. Now, Vegas has Texas as like a 2.5-point favorite. So those shady mob guys think the Longhorns are going to win. What say you, Mr. Tramel?
Well, I was all fired up to pick the Sooners, even with John Mateer hurt. And then I watched Michael Hawkins quarterback against Kent State, and I thought, I don't know if I can do that. So I picked Texas. It's sorry about that. I thought I had my phone off. It's a case of, I don't know if Oklahoma can find enough offense. They're not going to need much, but I don't know if they can find enough without John Mateer to win this game.
He's not playing, is he?
Sure he is.
No, he's not.
Come
Stop
on.
being such a romanticist, Kirk Bohls. Here's the problem with Bohls. He watches too many movies. This is not a movie.
Yes,
This
it
is
is,
real
Jerry.
life.
It is a movie.
This is not a movie.
Is John Mateer a senior?
Yes.
Fourth-year junior.
Yeah.
Okay. So he might come back, right?
Might
He
come
could.
back.
He's from Little Elm. Where is Little Elm? It's in Texas. He's played at Washington State. It's like he's been on an island somewhere.
Don't hate on Pullman.
And he got discovered. It's like he's going to try to play in this game, isn't he? Tell me, guys.
Only 17 days after surgery. That's the
Thank
thing.
you, Jennifer. Please, finally.
He's
Finally,
tough.
a voice of reason.
Tough.
I mean, people photoshopped his wrist surgeon Stephen Shin onto heavenly bodies. There's a lot of AI shenanigans out there.
Oh my God, they're
But
so smart.
I just don't know. I mean, it seems like if your throwing hand that close to surgery, I mean, is he going to try? Probably. I mean,
No.
Thank you.
when I say that, I don't know if that's trying in practice. I don't know if that's trying on Saturday. I mean, he was in uniform last week against Kent State. So will he be in uniform? Yeah, I think he will. But I don't know. And I don't know what to believe in terms of, Oklahoma moved its practice inside on a nice sunshiny day on Monday. Barry, you asked about it yesterday. Are you believing Brent Venables when he says why they moved inside?
No, Brent said they got air conditioning a couple weeks ago.
Whatever.
So he decided, hey, we're going to use it on a hot day. But listen,
Stop it.
here's what's going to happen. Nobody knows right now what the deal is. At 2:00 Saturday, John Mateer is going to grip a football, and it's going to be thumbs up or thumbs down, and that's when the decision is made. If he can grip a football, he's playing. If he can't grip a football, he's not. That's just the way it is.
He's not going to be able to grip a football. He's just not.
I bet he tries. I mean,
Well,
what do
of
they?
course he's gonna try, Kirk, but here's the
But
thing.
you're discounting it as even a possibility.
I didn't say that, sir.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
Okay, here's where I am. You got to play the long game. Brent Venables finally, finally's got it going in Norman after 2 losing seasons out of the last 3. And we saw him in Atlanta. We saw him and he didn't look confident because he knew that this thing could go off the rails. There's no Joe C to save him. So he had to bring it. And now that you're 5-0, 1-0 in conference against a wounded Texas, wounded, maybe just maybe you play the long game and see if you can beat Texas, which is feeling in its feelings after that no-show at the Swamp, and then another week, and then you bring Mateer back. But I don't know if you want to go all Kirk Gibson on us when you don't
Why
have
not?
to.
Why not? He trots onto that field, that stadium erupts.
And then
Capital
his
E.
hand falls off. Then what happens?
Oh, it's not going to fall off. He's one of the toughest dudes in the SEC. He's Diego Pavia without the marketing. Okay, he is one tough dude. Now we loved him in Atlanta.
He was great. He was
He
great.
really is.
Yeah.
And yeah, I see the Baker Mayfield, all that too. I just think he's going to try because you don't play in many Texas OU games, you know. This may be his only chance if he turned pro. So plus, what do they need? 7 points, 3 points?
Wow.
You
Wow.
know, I mean,
And you wonder why people hate you in Austin.
no,
You
I
wonder
don't
why.
wonder. I don't wonder.
Here's where your theory falls apart, Cedric. There is no long game in college football anymore. There
Thank
is no the future is now. We're back to George Allen.
today.
If you got a chance to step on Texas, you know what? You do it with both feet and both thumbs, even if one of them's broken. So
Right.
if they got a chance
Absolutely.
to beat Texas, and if John Mateer can catch a shotgun snap, you might play him just because that gives you a little bit of a run game.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he'll play or not, but it won't be because they're saving him for something. It means he can't play.
Here's the other thing about this game. This game is a much more of a must-win for Texas than it is for Oklahoma. Because if Oklahoma loses this game,
Yeah.
I mean, they don't, it's not good for Brent Venables, who would move to 1-3 against Texas. That's not the kind of record you want if you're the OU football coach.
Mhm.
But for Oklahoma this year, if they lose this game, they can still get themselves in the college football playoff. I don't think a 10-2 or an 11-1 Oklahoma team, if they're as long as they don't lose a really bad game against a not good opponent in the SEC, I still think they're right there where they want to be for the college football playoff. But Barry's right. I mean, if you can beat Texas, you're going to do everything you can to do it. But, how capable is John Mateer? I don't know. But Barry's right. What we saw out of Michael Hawkins against Kent State doesn't exactly inspire great confidence in the Oklahoma offense with him. Now, they may run it a ton if they have to play Michael Hawkins substantially, but you guys saw that movie last year in the OU Texas game with Hawkins playing, and that was not good for the Sooners. Wasn't many points, wasn't many yards. Their offense around him is better, but boy, I think the chance of success goes way up if John Mateer's in this game.
Let me ask you something, Jennifer. Does Michael Hawkins have 2 legs?
As last I checked, and they were functioning too.
He's got a great chance to get this dub then.
Oh, and
Because
they
they
hate me. And they
because
hate
they
me.
just lost to Peg Leg Bates. They lost
Wait,
to a
wait, wait,
one-legged
wait.
They
wonder.
did. You're right. You're right. DJ Lagman. Yeah.
Yeah, Kirk.
So
Kirk is bouncing the offense. You're bouncing the defense, Cedric. The defense is not otherworldly, but it's way better than the offense right now.
hard times. Hard
That's
times in the
all
final.
relative.
I know you guys are up there north of the Red River sleeping on silk sheets. Come down here. Come down here to Austin and have some real freaking problems. We got problems down here. We got issues. We got hit pieces being written on Arch Manning. And
Hey,
that was a horrible, horrible piece of
here's
filth that Will
here's what
Leitch wrote. He's better. That was horrible. That was
Here's what
horrible.
I want to know. Okay, so Arch, obviously, we can list him on the list of problems for Texas, no doubt. But where's the run game gone? Where's the offensive line gone? That's what I can't figure out on this offense.
To the NFL, Kelvin Banks, the left tackle, NFL. They didn't show up. And and it's still damning how you can come off a bye week and put that product on the field. And so we're just Kirk and I just kept looking at each other, go, what the hell? What are they doing? They don't see all the 90,000 gator chomps here ready to take your head off, and that's what you bring from Texas. So um, they will play better against Oklahoma. We all four know that.
No,
Because
we don't.
yeah,
No,
we
we don't.
do.
No,
You're Mr. Panic. You're Mr. Panic.
I'm not
You're a
panicking.
35-7 OU. You ready to say that?
I didn't say
Ready to say that
35.
to your
I said they
man?
need 7 or 10, something like that.
You think
That
that's all?
Florida game was appalling. That game should not have been close. 0 sacks of a guy on one leg, 6 sacks to the Florida defense that had 3 sacks in 4 games. I mean, come on. I mean, and let's be truthful. The offensive line wasn't that great last year. Okay. Here's the stat: 5 of the last 12 games against Power 4 opponents, they rushed for under 60 yards. 5.
That's not
Almost
bad.
half of their dozen games, and so, and I know they're 55th in the run, and OU's 97th in rushing offense. I mean, can y'all go explain that? I mean, I don't understand that. Why can't they run the ball either?
Well, it's actually been a years long problem. The offensive line's been down for about 3 or 4 years, and no ready explanation. But yeah, I don't think Sooners will be able to run unless Mateer plays and breaks some or Hawkins hits a home run. I don't think. I don't think either team's going to run all that much.
I
But this is
agree.
a series where people bring out wrinkles and you see stuff you didn't know and you fool a team for a half or so. But outside of that, I don't. I think this is going to be old school. I think we're back in the mid 70s. 16,
Yeah,
13.
I agree.
First one to 14 wins this game.
Hey,
Are the Sooners gonna cheat this time because they had, that Isaiah Satania,
wow,
who
wow.
is the son of the former Texas track coach here shadily on that sideline against, was that
Now,
Auburn?
I got a question. I got
That's
a
in the playbook.
philosophical question for the for
Go
the
ahead.
Bureau here. Is it cheating if in front of God and everybody on a big green field, if you run a play and you even tell the refs it's coming before the game, if you run a play and here's what we're going to do, and then you do it, and if they don't call it, is that cheating?
No,
Yes, yes,
no,
yes.
it's
No, the
not.
question, no, no, the question is, are the officials incompetent? Which the
Okay,
answer to that is also yes,
okay,
according to the league office. So,
yeah.
and,
It's
and
like
I'm
a
and I'm
it's
with
like a
Chris
pick.
Doring on that play. If that's an illegal play, why is it even in the playbook?
Yeah.
Is that's my point.
It's
Well,
it's like a pick
holding,
play. It's a pick
hold,
play. We see who
holding.
was it? Who was it the other day in the NFL? Somebody kept running a pick play down after down. They're just daring the refs to call it. That's really what the Sooners did. They're daring the refs
Yeah.
to.
Hey,
As someone once told me, you know how I know it's a penalty? Because the guy in the striped shirt blew his whistle.
that's it.
Unless the league office says, no, 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 it should
You
have
don't,
been a penalty.
if
Let
you
me ask you
didn't
guys.
call it,
Yeah.
they didn't call it.
What do you think of SEC schedule of officiating after a year and a half in the league? I actually I thought the Big 12s was better.
Oh my
I'm not
God.
overly
Wow.
impressed. I'm not
Really?
overly impressed.
They don't call a lot of holding in the SEC. That I noticed.
They do against Texas and false starts. They had 5 last week. What game were you watching, Sid? You were sitting next to me. I mean, come on.
Well, first of all, I was not sitting next to you.
You were close enough.
How old are you right now? There were five people between us. They don't put us together anymore. They know better.
Thank
They
He
God.
know
Thank,
feels
better.
your aura, said. He
that's
feels
right.
the aura. It's like you're right there.
I just
I
look
did.
down at him and he's gumming peaches. I'm sitting there going, he thinks I'm sitting next to him. Yeah.
Oh,
But he did tell me, I asked him at halftime, me and Kirk going back 25 years, when a game started, it looked like it's about to get out of hand. Invariably, during that game, one of us will look at the other and go, is it over? Because in 2005, when USC was up 38-26 with 6 minutes to go over Texas, I looked at Kirk and I go, is it over? And he goes, I would say yeah, but Texas has Vince. And so yeah, but he was so adamant that it was over at halftime in Gainesville. And he was right. I think, see, this has been a high scoring series lately. Teams in the 40s, wild finishes. I don't think it's going to be old school. I don't think it's going to be 16-13.
Really?
You
I
smell
don't.
a lot of defensive touchdowns,
I smell a couple of I smell some
blocked
quarterbacks.
punts.
I smell some quarterbacks giving some short fields. I think the winning team's going to be 28 to 30 points. I do.
Wow.
I do.
I
Wow.
would be surprised if the total of both teams is 28 or 30 points.
See,
That was
I didn't come on this podcast to hear the hate.
if OU
Even
gives
you,
up
Jennifer,
28 points to
even you, the
Texas,
sweetest person in the business,
if
with
OU
the
gives up
haterade.
28 points to Texas, they're going to have to take Brent Venables straight to Parkview, put him on a heart monitor. I promise you.
Well, if I told you last year that in 2025 he was giving up 28, you'd have been, oh, they got a shot because they've been rolling Brent's defenses. What's been the difference? They go from what, 21.7 points allowed last year. They're allowing 7.2 under Brent and Todd Bates and Jay Valal. Oh, Jay Valal, a former Texas assistant.
Yeah.
What's been the difference with those guys like Hip Lewis and Taylor Wayne and those other guys? What's been that difference?
Barry, you want to jump in?
Well, I mean, the defensive line's unbelievable. I didn't think I'd live long enough to see another OU defensive line that could be dominant.
Well,
Thought
don't
those
assume you're
days
going to
were
make it
gone.
to Saturday, Barry. You're old. Let's
Listen,
not count our eggs. Let's not
but
count our eggs. But go ahead.
I think OU's D line's the best in the SEC. They go
Wow.
eight deep. They go eight deep. They got
Mm.
NFL prospects all across the line. Jaden Jackson is unbelievable. Um,
What
David
about R.
Stone,
R. Thomas Mason off
our,
the edge?
our Mason Thomas might be the best pass
Yeah.
rusher. I mean, I thought those days were gone. Brent's brought him back. You know, I was skeptical about him as a head coach even up until this month or September. But what he's done with this Oklahoma defense ratifies OU's decision to hire him because he's
Wow.
done the impossible. He's restored the defensive DNA and the defensive identity at a place that lost it a long time ago.
Yeah, the secondary is okay. I mean, I think they have potential to be really good long term, but Barry's right. To me, it's really the front and it starts on the defensive line. They sat a couple guys last week against Kent State, Jaden Jackson included off the defense. And they had 13 tackles for loss. Again, I know it's Kent State. It wasn't Florida, but 13 tackles for loss, 11 by defensive linemen. They are able to get pressure. To me, that's the thing that was most glaring about that Florida game, guys. I mean, yeah, it was 6 sacks. It was also 22 quarterback hurries, which when you think about how much Arch Manning was under pressure, I just think Oklahoma is going to figure out some ways to keep him under duress and confuse him. To me, that's where Brent Venables is going to really try to win that chess match against Steve Sarkisian. Just make it hard on Arch Manning as much as possible, not only physically, but mentally wondering where are these guys coming from? Because you do have really good linebackers. And if you activate those guys in addition to that defensive line, I think it could be a really hard afternoon for Arch Manning.
How much have they been blitzing? I know they got 21 sacks, which is tied for
Not
second
much.
in Tennessee.
They really
Yeah,
haven't
haven't
blitzed
had
a
to.
ton. Yeah, like
Yeah.
they're at the end of the Auburn game when they basically iced the game with a sack and a safety there at the end, but essentially had sacks to finish out the game and on the last 3 downs, 4 downs.
Mhm.
I mean, it was defensive linemen that were getting the pressure and were getting the sacks. R. Mason Thomas's sack of Jackson Arnold there in the end zone. Go watch that play.
Big, big time.
He demolished the offensive lineman. And then the running back tries to come in and it's like, what am I supposed
No.
to do here?
Get off me,
And
little
it's
guy.
just
Get away from me.
impressive stuff.
You
Yeah.
know, we watched Florida mauled Texas, and it sounds scarier the way you're describing it. And those numbers, they have the sacks to back it up. And you ask any DC out there, what a privilege, what a luxury to be able to get pressure with your four and not have to blitz. So Texas has to blitz because their pass rushers haven't been putting up the numbers that they thought they would put up on paper. But I'm gonna tell you one thing: you ain't seen a run game like you've seen Texas. They have 15 yards rushing. Their running backs were 15 yards rushing last week. So
Let
y'all
me
better
ask
be,
a
you better
question.
be ready for that.
Let me ask a question from north of the Red River and east and west of the Pecos, whatever, every place outside Austin.
Ha!
When we think of Texas's problems in the year of our Lord 2025, it starts with an A and it ends with an H. And it's R and C in between. All we want to talk about is Arch Manning, but you guys hadn't talked that much about Arch. You talk about all these other problems.
And I'm gonna
How
tell you why.
much, how much of this is on Arch and how much is he just a victim of Texas not being as good as everybody thought they would be?
Let
He's
me
down
have
the
this.
list.
Yeah, let me have this one, Mr. Bohls. Let me tell you something about Arch Manning. If you watched that game last week, I had no problem with how Arch Manning played football. Arch Manning, under heavy fire, took a savage beating in Florida and stood tall in the pocket with no blocking and no run game and made some money throws that kept things interesting on a day where he had no help. And so the toughness cannot be questioned. Their problems are far greater than Arch Manning. They can't block. They can't open up holes. And then you have a defense that can't give you a short field because they kept giving up third and longs. And so 9 out of their first 11 third downs, Florida converted. Unacceptable for a defense that was historically great last year. So I think Arch Manning is the cover boy, and he's also the whipping boy for what's ailing Texas. Arch Manning is going to be fine, I believe. Now, is he as great as Paul Feinbaum was saying he was going to be, or Kirk Bohls, who said he'd win the Heisman and that Texas would win the national championship and Arch would get a bronze statue as soon as they got back? No, he's not that guy, but he's going to be a really good quarterback. And so their problems are numerous, but Arch Manning, like the Duck said, is down. He's way down on that list.
He's probably about sixth or seventh.
Thank
And
you. Yes.
he hadn't played well. He hadn't played well. He played courageously against Florida. But guys, he's their leading rusher for the year, Arch Manning. And Sark does not
And
like
that's not
to
all,
run his
and that's not
quarterbacks.
always
He likes a drop back passing game. He does not like dual threat quarterbacks. That's not in Sark's DNA. And so they don't have a running back with a run longer than 18 yards. So they're not
oh yeah.
explosive.
Wait, no, I think you've been reading the wrong stat sheet. I think you're reading the one from Norman. Kirk. You
That's
should
why we're
look at
going 10 to 7, 16 to 13, Barry.
But I will
So,
say
I
this,
mean,
Kirk. I will say this, Kirk.
yeah,
The 2009 Longhorns were really good with Colt McCoy, and Colt McCoy was the leading rusher on that team. He was. He was.
I think it was '08. It's like, because that's the year I voted for. He was the leading rusher and they didn't have a tight end. They
Yeah.
aren't, they're not using the tight end. They got this great tight end from Cal, Jack Indries. No catches against Sam Houston, 2 for 2 yards against Florida. And a lot of this is at Steve Sarkisian's doorstep. I mean, where's the creativity? He had one great trick play, double pass. Ryan Wingo overthrew a wide open tight end, Jack Indries, which could have turned the game around. That could have got him in striking distance. But again, that's kind of gimmicky. So they can't run the ball. Arch, I don't think he's a bust yet. You can't say that like the Athletic did because he's basically started 5 games. I don't even count ULM and Mississippi State 0-8 and SEC play last year because there was no pressure on him really in those games, both at home and Quinn was the guy. But so he's had 5 starts, 7 starts. Isn't much of a sample size, I don't think. So I don't know if he's going to be great. He might be good. He might be average,
Who
but
said he would be great?
no, I was wrong. I think you've written he's going to be great. You write about Arch every 2 minutes. No, I go into the game and say, "Said, what are you writing today?" I'm writing Arch. Every week, I'm writing Arch.
Hey, I got a question on
Yes.
the offense. So, did they miss in the portal, or did guys that they thought were going to evolve that were already there not? Or is it both?
No, they
Yes.
missed in the
Yes.
portal by not going after old linemen.
Mhm.
Jack Endries is a stud tight end. They haven't used him. Emmett Mosley, the transfer wide receiver from Stanford, he was hurt the first 4 games, so he looks like he could be pretty decent, but he's only played 1 game against Florida. Again, there's no pass protection or anything like that. So they got a great punter, they got a really good kicker. So those were their best acquisitions in the portal, which tells us a lot.
Yeah, and the Oregon has a terrific guard that was on campus, and he's starting for Oregon. I think he's the left guard, and I can't remember the name escapes me, but
I
he was
can
on
I can
campus.
I can speak from experience. Oregon's really good. I
Yeah,
saw him whip up on Oklahoma State in person, so can attest that the Ducks are good up front.
Oregon got 4 offensive linemen in the portal. Sark has never gotten one.
he's got to
Really?
rethink that. He's got to rethink that.
Oregon's got
That
two
homegrown's not working.
transfer tackles, and they've given up one. I think it's 2 sacks all year. Two
Texas giving up
sacks.
more than two. Texas is giving up more than two. So
They
yeah,
given up 9. Yeah.
yeah. So we
Well,
are we think that we think that he's got to rethink that. Kelvin Banks was a big time left tackle playing starting for the New Orleans Saints now, but those guys don't grow on trees, and surely you can find one or two disgruntled, angry, 350-pound guys who want to live in Austin. You would think that that might be an attractive option for some of these guys that aren't happy in their current vocations, but Sark hasn't gone there yet.
Hey, one of those tackles played at Texas State. So
really.
it's a long way away. It's like 30
Boy,
miles from here.
San Marcos is nice this time of year.
I got a question for you guys. Is Brent Venables safe? And especially with that schedule, those last 5 games the Sooners have, I mean, goodness, Alabama, LSU, Ole Miss, Missouri. Who am I leaving out?
Tennessee at
Tennessee. Oh yeah, they're pretty
Neyland
good too.
Stadium.
So
Walk in
is
the
he
park.
safe?
Walk in the park.
Is he safe, guys?
I think he is safe. Now, is it means now, doesn't mean because those 5 teams, South Carolina's next week, and then it's the 5 teams you listed. Those 5 teams are all ranked in the top 14 right now. Next
Crazy.
week is at South Carolina. I would not make this argument, but you could if you wanted to, that Texas is the easiest game they got left.
You could.
You can make that statement and not be laughed out of the room.
You're right.
So, I mean, Brent's what, 5-0? It's not for sure that he's going to get past 7 wins. I mean, he could go 7-5 pretty easily, really. But I think when you look at the way he's transformed that defense, do you really want to screw that up? You want to blow that up to smithereens and start over? Because then all of a sudden you're building an offense and a defense. And he's got a lot of guys that can go in the portal people would want. He's where he's at. OU's where he's at because Brent Venables' retention. They haven't hit home runs in the portal outside of John Mateer. They did. You got to, Satang has been a nice receiver. They mixed and mashed and plugged guys in, but for the most part, he's got 16 fourth-year guys he recruited in 2022 that are playing. He's retained good players.
A lot on defense.
Yeah, so he's doing it. It's going well. The schedule's just a killer. I have to think cooler heads will prevail.
Yeah, and I think unless there's something, unexpected, even if they lose, 3 or 4 games before the end of the year, I think, they're headed in such a good direction. And when this season started, I mean, I think people who are looking at the schedule, the unknowns, 8-4 seemed like it'd be a really good year. I mean,
Yeah.
I said if they get to 8-4, considering the schedule, Parade and Norman. I mean, like, that's the type of difficulty that was facing them and not knowing what they had in Mateer in the offense. I mean, you thought Mateer would be pretty good, but you just didn't know. And, they haven't been great in the run game. A guy I'm curious to see, though, slight change of direction, but I'm very curious to see Jaden Ott on Saturday. The Cal transfer, one of the best running back transfers, probably the best running back transfer in the portal last year. Very, very quiet in the first 4 games. Last week against Kent State, we saw him play his most extended snaps of the season. He looked really good. He looked the way you want a top transfer to look. He looked patient. He looked fast. He looked shifty. Again, Kent State, but still showing that he wasn't just trying to run past guys or run through guys, like showing some vision and some ability. I thought it was really hopeful. So I don't know what it means in terms of this game against Texas, but for the first time we saw Jaden Ott play in a way that we thought we would see him much earlier in the season. So I'm very curious to see what role he plays on Saturday.
Yeah, I know what you know about 8-4. I think a lot of Texas fans might take 8-4 for the Horns right now. So, but yeah, it's maybe just whoever has the best running game Saturday might win because both of these are very highly challenged running games. So that could be the X factor here.
Well, we know that Barry's taking the horn. Jennifer, Carlson, who are you picking and why?
Well, I'm going to pick Oklahoma, even though I'm basing it mostly on Oklahoma's defense and how good they've been and how suspect Texas looked, especially against a really, so-so defensive front from Florida. I really like Oklahoma's matchup there. So, I'm going low scoring. I'm going to say 13-10 Oklahoma.
I'm bringing a pillow and a blanket for that one. Oh my God.
And
What is this, the ice bowl?
Barry always takes last year's winner, right?
That's right. That's
You
right.
sticking with that? You sticking with that approach?
Yeah, well, I was gonna. It's time to scrap it because we're on an AB rotation. Nobody's getting a 2-game winning streak, but there's no John Mateer is making me think. I think Texas can win if Mateer doesn't play.
Wow. I think they can win. I don't know if they will win. I kind of like Oklahoma just because of the confidence standpoint. They go into it confident. I take confidence over desperation any day. So, yeah, I'm going with Oklahoma too. I think Oklahoma wins something like 17-14. Sid?
I don't even know y'all anymore. I don't. This is why we can't have nice things. This is why. I'm going Longhorns 27, Oklahoma 24. It's going to be more points than you think because something crazy always happens in this game. Guys, such a pleasure. Jenni, are we going to see you Friday, or is there going to be some shenanigans over on Northwest Highway, maybe?
Shenanigans? Why is that directed at me, Seth?
No, I'm
Come
just
on.
saying because
So inappropriate.
there's always some enchiladas and
Hey,
maybe some margaritas been thrown around in that
There's
area.
nothing inappropriate about enchiladas. There's nothing inappropriate.
no. And a good enchilada requires a good margarita where I'm from.
You
I
know,
think so too.
mandatory.
So I'm sure we will see you guys at the spot Friday and then Saturday at 2:30 p.m. at the Cotton Bowl,
Can't wait.
Texas, Oklahoma. Can't wait. Always a pleasure, my friends.
See you guys.
Take
Bye.
care. Bye-bye.